This is episode 4 of the Anime Cloudy Vision podcast. And today I'm actually here with a special guest. Never been here before. I'm here with Michaela May. How are you doing, Michaela?
Wow. What is this place? Never seen this place before.
I know this must be like a crazy experience for you. Never been on an anime podcast. But today we got a lot of crazy topics we're going to talk about. First one we have is Monster. Now, I told you about this before. I told you it's kind of like Death Note, but it's kind of not. And you've watched like 15 episodes so far. So like, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I'm kind of hooked, to be honest with you. I really like it so far.
Yeah, so for those of you watching who don't know what it is, it's basically like, it's like when a doctor, he gets like this, this guy works as a doctor, but then he gets his patient who's like kind of insane, and then it turns his life upside down, and he's like on the hunt from the law and stuff. And I read the Monster, the manga, but like you're watching it, so like what are your thoughts? So are you watching the dub or sub? You're probably watching sub, right?
How dare you ask me if I even watch dub? How
Dude,
dare you?
dude, I'm like the opposite of you because I only watch the dub, so I assume that everyone else does. But then you're always like, you only watch the sub.
The only thing I watch dubbed is Ouran High School Host Club.
Bro. Oh, when I did watch like a few episodes of this dubbed, and the doctor's voice, I could not get over because it's the same voice actor of Gaara from Naruto. And I'm like, okay, this is the one anime I'm gonna have to probably watch subbed. I can't do dub for this because like his voice is just very like monotone. But
I
yeah,
mean, it's definitely like that in the sub too, though. I think that's just the character as a whole, though.
yeah. The main character Tenma is like one thing
People
about
pleaser?
him. Yeah, he is kind of a people pleaser. But I would say the anime itself isn't primarily revolved around Tenma himself because I'll be honest, I don't think he's like an incredible main character, but I think he's a good supplementary character for the story that's told, because a lot of the things that happen in Monster are based around like different events that happen. Like he meets so many people, there's so much stuff that happens, and it kind of follows the story of Johan, who is like the he's like the villain of the series pretty much. And Tenma's trying to like hunt down Johan to kind of clear his name and stuff. And I feel like what throughout all of that, I feel like if Tenma didn't really have a lot of people around him or Johan to be hunting after, you would be kind of a bland character. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think he just would have been walked all over,
Yeah.
like a lot.
Especially in the beginning where he's kind of like shown to be this kind of this pushover. Like he initially is like sucking up to the hospital director. He's like dating the hospital director's daughter, even though she's like a scumbag.
She's a gold digger.
Yeah, and because as soon as like Tenma gets in trouble at his job, she's immediately like, bro, I do not know who you are. And like in front of him, she's just like talking to other doctors and stuff and flirting with them. But yeah. I think, did you get to the part where Tenma met Johan in like the parking lot?
I'm all the way out to the prostitute part.
Oh wait, oh you're pretty far then.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on like the dynamic between Tenma and Johan? Like what were your thoughts when they first met for the first time?
I'm trying to
Because
think of how I want to word this.
because it started as like Tenma was, I think he was like chasing somebody who was like escaping the hospital, and then they ran in this parking lot, and then out of nowhere Johan's just there and he's like, "Yo, I'm the same kid that you operated on when I was like 5 years old or something." And Tenma was like, "Bro."
Well, yeah, he chases the, I don't remember his name, the lockpick.
Yeah, the lockpick guy who helped Johan.
And he's like, that's the guy who's been killing everyone. And like outs Johan, and then that's how he figures it out or whatever. But I don't know. I think Tenma feels like this giant sense of responsibility over Johan.
Yeah.
because he saved him, and now he's like, I need to fix the thing that I did wrong.
Yeah, because initially what happened was like there Johan was brought in as a kid. He was brought in first, but then like there was the mayor who came in also, and the director was like, I want you to operate on the mayor, even though the kid came in first, which the kid was Johan at the time. And since Tenma was such a good like surgeon, he was able to save Johan's life, which Johan later turned out to be like a massive serial killer. And now he's kind of like trying to right his wrongs. And there was another part in the anime where he says like the gold digger he was dating mentions at one point how some lives are worth more than others. And I feel like that kind of is an interesting contrast to how Tenma's like now thinking that Johan's life has to end, which is kind of challenging his own belief, because before Tenma thought that all lives were worth saving. I think it's interesting how his beliefs are being challenged over time. And
I think it's just because of Johan and the fact that he saved. I think it's more of like he saved the opera singer instead of the father, and now two people are suffering. But now he saves one child in the hopes of it helping other people, like his twin sister.
yeah.
And now it's just harming more people.
I would say though, what are your thoughts on like comparing this to Death Note? Because I know the pacing in this is a lot more slow, but I feel like it's more of like a slow burn anime because there's just so much that happens. And Death Note's more like, okay, this happens, this happens, this happens, but this is more like kind of a longer story.
I wouldn't necessarily compare it to Death Note. I'd say there's definitely a little bit of similarities here and there, but I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
these are on these are on the same level, because to be honest, like I did look into it a little bit, and a lot of people are saying, or I've seen a lot of people mention that like Johan is like one of the greatest villains created, just based on how he is and what he does and how he does it.
I feel like it's interesting how they made him out to be like this genius, but you never really like see exactly what he does. Like, how is he so charismatic towards these people? How does he get so many people to like work for him and stuff? Like, I read the whole thing. Like, never during the story do you see like how he like is charismatic towards these characters and like gets
But I
people
mean,
on his side.
I think the reason why they might have done that is because there are so many real life serial killers that are similar to that. Like Ted Bundy has always been known as the charismatic and attractive, and you could get him to do whatever, like he could get anybody to do whatever he wanted. And that's pretty much what Johan is in this case. He's the Ted Bundy of this universe.
He's definitely like a very interesting character. Did you get to I forget like where is where, but did you get to the part where they're like in the Red Rose Mansion?
I can't say I have.
Yeah. But the whole like backstory of Johan and his sister gets a lot more interesting. So you definitely like
Oh yes.
Oh, you did?
I've heard a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's when it starts to get like their whole history is starts to get really more interesting.
The experimental orphanage.
Oh, that's 501 Kinderheim. That's before that leads up
There's
to the
more?
mansion. Yeah, there's more.
Oh my god.
Dude, Johan was he was like a dictator, bro. Cause
Oh, I'm not surprised.
501 Kinderheim was the one where he was at the orphanage and he was like watching as chaos happened and everyone was like killing each other, I think.
Yes.
And then later they like go more into depth about like how he survived that and his sister, I think.
I don't think his sister was there. I think it was because it was just supposed to be all boys.
Yeah, because Johan was taken, so it was just him. But there was someone else there. I don't want to say who though. Did you meet who's the cool dude? Like the guy who like the journalist, but he was like also from 501 Kinderheim. I forget his name.
I don't think I met a journalist who knew about 501, but he was when they first find Nina.
Oh yeah, no, that guy is from the very beginning. Bro, this guy is my favorite character. You're gonna meet him soon probably. But he's he goes in the crazy mode whenever like his life is in danger, and you'll see soon. It's pretty cool, but I forget his name though. He's my favorite character. I forget his name, but he's like a journalist.
Huh. I've met the other kid, but that's it so far.
Yeah. If you had to give it like, I know you're only halfway through, but if you had to give it a rating, what would you give it so far?
Oh God. Probably a 6, but that's pacing wise.
6.
Just for the pacing.
So you're saying Death Note's better than it?
So far. But then again, I also find that one detective who like types with his fingers really
Oh,
annoying. So
that guy. Bro,
I don't like him.
I hated him so
I
much.
don't like him.
I hated him until like the very last chapter. I'm like, bro, he's so
I don't
annoying.
think he could redeem himself.
He's
I really don't.
the thing is like he just doesn't want to be wrong about Tenma. He's like, no, it has to be Tenma. There's no one else who could have done all this. Meanwhile, like there's just loads of evidence pointing towards a Johan existing, and he just refuses to accept that.
Oh, I literally just got to the part where he mentions that Johan is a personality inside Tenma's head.
Dude, he's so delusional. He creates all like these crazy theories that are just like absolutely insane. But
They're
like
unrealistic. Well, they're
Yeah.
realistic, but not with how much evidence is
Yeah,
backed up of all these
it's
people
just-
existing.
yeah, just pure speculation on his part. It's like, oh, I'm gonna speculate that this is evidence and true when it's not.
Well, to be fair, Johan does change his name quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. You said you got to the prostitute part where they're meeting I forget so many of their names because there's so many people. But it was like that district, right, where they went to meet the woman.
I just got to the major politician's secretary.
Oh yeah, I know
that
where you
dies. And then Eva, whatever her name is
Mhm.
like taunting her gardener for some
Oh,
reason.
Yo.
I
Dude,
don't like her either.
if you had, okay, who do you hate more, the detective or Ava, who's a gold digger?
Eva,
Eva.
whatever her name is. I don't
Yeah.
like her. I had
Dude,
some
she's-
choice words in my notebook about her.
I don't know. Like, but somehow at the very end, a lot of these characters do kind of like a somewhat redeeming part to them. And bro, when you get to the ending of the story, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, it's an interesting ending. It's an
Am I gonna be
interesting
mad?
ending. I don't want to say anything, but it's
Oh no.
it's crazy, dude. I was confused when I finished it. I had to like look it up, like what happened. But yeah, that's Monster. It's about a monster, and yeah, I recommend it. I liked it.
It's about months.
It's about a monster. Yeah,
That's one way to put it, yeah.
or monsters, plural.